world is on the Knicks Friday night, and the Pacers are just got a free pop in Madison Square Garden. So, I mean, that's to me the most fascinating storyline. Obviously, they did not handle the pressure well last night. As soon as it started to crumble, they crumbled. So you just wonder how they handle the pressure of, I mean, you almost have to call that a must-win. I hate to do that in a game, too. No, that feels like an overreaction, but I think it is.
It is a must-win, and I don't know who you can rely on. Like Jalen Brunson, yes. But if Jalen Brunson gets off to a slow start, I think it's going to be a lot of Knicks watching Brunson. Like Karl Anthony Towns, really good last night. I mentioned, going into it, I think he was averaging 30 and 12 in the 3-game regular season series between the Knicks and the Pacers. He goes 35 and 12 last night, so he was really good. But I wouldn't trust Karl Anthony Towns to take over a must-win postseason game. This is going to be all Jalen Brunson. If he struggles for whatever reason, I'm fascinated to see. Yep. Like you said the other day before the conference finals started up, you were more interested in the East just because of the nostalgia?
Yeah, just because of the nostalgia of the 80s and 90s. 94, it was the 94 Eastern Conference Finals, right? Was it 94?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 94 when Reggie scored 8 points in 9 seconds and created the choke. I mean, did the choke sign to the Knicks. That was what I was hoping for, and I got it in game one. I didn't have to wait deep in the series.
Well, I said I was more excited about the Thunder and the T-Wolves. The Thunder absolutely dominate game one, and now I'm all in more on the Eastern Conference Final.
Welcome into the Pennant Grace on this lovely Thursday afternoon. My name is Emily Grace McWhorter. This is Uch Sisk. We are the Pennant Grace. And today I'm back in studio, which is very lovely. We've been joking about on Tuesday, I was out at the golf course, and some have been saying it sounded like a 911 call I was on.
You were maybe being held against your will. We're proud to announce that today is a no whisper episode. We will be speaking at full volume today.
I think my favorite line of last show, if you guys missed it, you can catch it on podcast, on my Twitter account, on the YouTube channel. Make sure you go check out the podcast. We'd really appreciate that. Yeah. We have that this season for you guys. We've gotten some great feedback. Rate us 5 stars if you feel inclined. But on that podcast, you guys can listen, and you won't be able to see it, but you can go back and watch it. And I panned my phone, because I was on Zoom, to Coach Saban behind me and Cedric on the golf cart. And I said, okay, guys, if you catch it, there's Coach Saban. And Ush, you go, well, that's Coach Saban's first time on the Pennant Grace. And for whatever reason, that cracked me up.
So if people ask, has Nick Saban been on the Pennant Grace? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he has. That was, for those that missed it, that was at the Knicks Kids event. Mm-hmm. And so the Braves would go on win lose that game, lose game one, and then all ready to go for game two.
Some rain hits
and
Washington,
we know how these
DC.
rainouts go in Washington. There have sometimes been rainouts with no rain.
Yeah.
In our nation's capital for Atlanta. We're geared up and ready. Hey, game's postponed for rain. Well, it's not raining, but it's coming. And then it never came, and the game never started. But it was actual rain yesterday, so they're going to make that up in September with a doubleheader.
September 16th, it'll be a day-night series, so you'll have to get 2 separate tickets if you plan on going to that. But honestly, this might have been, I think it was a good thing for the Braves.
So tell me why you think it's good. So they go tonight, and the Braves will, best they can do is have a tie in that series, and then it'll be decided not until September. So why do you think this is a good thing possibly for Atlanta?
Because the Braves had 17 straight days with a game. That's a lot.
It is.
That's a lot. Some travel mixed in. So now what happens, they get 2 off days in a span of 3 days as they hit the road after tonight's game to go head back to Truist.
Right.
So you also, I saw someone make a great point about this. That's an extra game that you get with Ronald Acuna Jr.
That's right. Well,
I know.
Is that do we have breaking news?
No. Okay. Not breaking news, but I'm just saying,
But you think
on the back end. Wait, let me explain this.
Okay.
Because he'll be back in September, so that's an extra game you get with him.
Oh, that's true. I thought you meant looking ahead at this weekend.
Well, but I mean, okay, so from what I've heard, this is just what we're seeing. He could be back on Friday. Now, as I closed tomorrow
Tuesday's show, I was thinking in Philly or at home against the Red Sox.
But there
could be this
stirring
weekend.
Yeah. And
against San Diego.
As early as tomorrow.
You probably need to be at full force
You probably
to
need
take
to
on the
be.
San Diego Padres.
Right. So I think, there's a lot of reasons that this rainout may not have been the worst thing in the world. And we're going to get into Ronald Acuna's return and what that means. But get excited. I know my brother, my sister-in-law, they're attending the game tomorrow. My parents have their ticket. So part of me is like, maybe I go back to Atlanta as a, job, like as part of the Pennant Grace correspondent here to make sure that we have representation inside Tourist Park should it happen. Thoughts?
It's pretty historic.
It is. It is. It just feels exciting. It feels like there's a buzz. And we've had, we're not calling it a stake bet on the show, but we've had a little competition going about when Ronald Acuna's return would be. I was in the camp of June, and I was pretty surefire about it. And I felt pretty good.
Early June,
June 1st was my prediction. Osh, I think you're going to have the win on this.
Yeah, I think so too. The bad thing is, now that I feel confident I'm going to win, we never put anything on it.
No, I know. We still have time, technically.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to wager? I am a betting woman.
Tim Melton behind the glass. Tim, can you start thinking of some ideas? You're a master at anything involving bets. Can you come up with something?
Yeah. My advice would be, E.g., don't take this bet. Do something else. Take a future bet.
Okay.
Not this one.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
Don't do this one.
I wish we would have placed a wager on it because, me, I would have loved to.
Yeah.
We'll think of some and we can catch up on that.
We'll come up with something. Hello to Hunter and Nick and Smuff in the chat. Always great to see you guys. Thank you for all of our friends of the show joining us. So, AJ Smith-Shawver's on the mound tonight.
He is.
Going to get to him in a second. Obviously, the big story in Tuesday night's game,
Spencer Strider.
Return of Spencer Strider. I'm thankful for, I'll say this, and I did not, I did not scour the internet. I'm not Jennifer Brown. But from what I gathered, I did not see some type of freak out over a less than stellar start from Spencer Strider. I think people know that it's going to take a little bit. And I got to thinking about it. He has not been in regular rhythm since 2023.
That's we're in 2025.
Yeah.
Year of our Lord.
I'm going to give him 4 starts or so.
I give him
to get into his groove, 4 or 5 starts.
Yeah, I mean, and I would agree with you. I haven't seen a panic button being pushed. The PG panic button, by the way, has not been brought up in a long time.
No. No.
But it was, it wasn't jarring to me. It obviously was not the performance that he wanted. And one thing that I do like is his accountability as a pitcher. I feel like his post-game quotes are all-timers every time he speaks in front of the media.
Yeah.
And one of the ones that stuck out to me was, I take no joy in not giving us a chance.
Yeah. And go read that. We tweeted out, retweeted.
Yeah, the full
thing from our Twitter. If you're not following us there, please do on X. Pardon me, old habits at the Pennant Grace. And if you want a guy on your team that is the ultimate in accountability, no nonsense, team first mentality, Spencer Strider is still here. That's your guy. He is the guy for that. He's an incredible leader. I love what he said, and in particularly, I like what he said about little elephant in the room situation there, to say the team sent down a really good pitcher. Bryce Elder had really had a good
rhythm.
Yes.
Like, he really turned a corner.
He was really in a good space. We'd gotten quality starts out of Bryce Elder.
Quality starts.
And Strider's like, that is not lost on me. And so I don't think it's panicky or overreactionary to wonder about Spencer Strider. And by the way, someone we haven't brought up in a long time, Ronaldo Lopez. Do we ever see at the exact level they were in that peak? And for Strider, just that strikeout rate and the velocity, I don't know. Yeah,
well, in the chat, you guys are talking about it, Samuel and Smuff. There were people talking about the velocity. Strider was nothing without his velocity. Yeah, I didn't like to see his velocity where it was the other night. And it did dip. It topped out at 97 early. And then it was around 95, I want to say, got as low as 92. And that is something that is concerning. But again, you bring up a great point, Ush. I don't know if we'll ever see that exact player. Now, hear me when I say, I do think that Strider is an athlete that will make adjustments. and will still be an elite pitcher. It just may not be in the form that we once saw him at. And that's okay.
Agreed.
That's totally fine. And you could say the same thing for Ronald Acuna. There's going to be a different version of him, not necessarily bad or good, just different. Because you're coming off such an extended amount of time without playing, different injuries, do different things. And that was only his second start since April.
Yeah, no, it's crazy to think about it
crazy.
like that. So speaking of pitching, and A.J. Smith-Shawver going tonight. Again, hello to Samuel there and Bono Soaps, a.k.a. the king of all Bonos. Pennant Grace, Red Sox correspondent. A.J. Smith-Shawver on the mound tonight.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw out a question.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a chance to think about it because I'm going to give my answer, which may be a little off the beaten path. What is the biggest story as we sit here in now late May for the Atlanta Braves in the 2025 season? And you could go a lot of different directions with this because a lot has already happened and a lot is looks to be very imminent, about to happen.
Yep.
Here's mine. You could make a case, a strong case, that right now Atlanta is being led by two rookies, Drake Baldwin and A.J. Smith-Shawver. A.J. Smith-Shawver has been absolutely fantastic on the mound. He's been the best starting pitcher on the team. You could make that argument.
Yep.
Now, if you're in a playoff series right now, and who do I feel the most confident taking the mound? It's Chris Sale.
Of course. Not even a question.
No question. Not close, by the way. But based on body of work, what A.J. Smith-Shawver has done and what Drake Baldwin has done, which we've talked a lot about that recently.
We have.
Because he's been absolutely fantastic in every way. He's one of those, what do they call the stat? I should know this, but they measure it like how a catcher is able to, to pick a guy off, what do they call that? You guys in the chat are smarter than me.
Let us know.
His is very high. Sean Murphy's is very high. We talked Tuesday of the strength of that catcher position.
Yeah.
So I could make the case to say, hey, my big story so far as I sit here in May is Atlanta being led by two rookies, which is, not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing, and I think that's an interesting point because I feel like that may be a little overshadowed right now, but there are serious contention discussions for Rookie of the Year with those guys.
Absolutely.
And it's kind of shocking when you start looking at the numbers. I don't know if I would say that's my biggest storyline. I think mine might differ because for me right now, I guess it kind of coincides. I would say this is one of the Braves' ability
Pop time. Thank you, Jake. Pop time.
And
Tom had it too.
Nice.
Smart,
I love our chat.
Smart people. Smarter
I
than
love
me.
our Pennant Grace family.
That is a low bar, but they're smarter than me.
There's 112 people on right now.
I like
all
all 112.
Yes, at 113. Keep rising.
There you go.
Okay, but for me, I think the biggest storyline is how resilient the Braves have been in figuring out something that works.
Oh, that's very good. I like that.
But that also plays a role into yours. And I'm curious what your responses are in the chat. What is your biggest storyline personally? It doesn't have to be right. It has to, there's no right or wrong answers here. I'm just curious what you guys are picking up on. But for me, it's the resilience of this team, but really it's the ability to basically counterpunch.
Well, you could, to your point, you could make that argument by saying, hey, the Braves didn't make the moves that most of us in Braves country thought they were going to make. And look at how guys, if you could take it from the bullpen, look at guys like Scott Blewett. Look at guys, how those type, pitchers have come out of kind of nowhere. Look at guys like Eli White and Nick Allen.
Exactly.
How did the Braves not get another outfield bat? Well, they got Profar, but people thought they were going to make another move.
Yeah.
But Profar was just move one.
And then that move obviously ended how it ended.
And then you see guys like Verdugo and Eli White, who's been with the team, and then additions of guys like Verdugo and Allen. So in White's case, it's just getting an opportunity to play. And then in Verdugo and Nick Allen's case, it's coming in on the team.
Right.
They have been a big part of what you're saying.
Yes.
And so it hasn't looked like we thought it was going to look, but it's successful, and credit to the team and obviously to those individual players for making that a reality.
It's been fun to watch, and I think that when you look at, there are so many different storylines because you also have the Marcell Ozuna storyline that has kind of been building for the last season and a half, really, of how consistent he's been, how he's turned a corner. You have Ozzy Albies. We don't really talk about the state that he's in right now. It's not good.
It's not.
It's not good. And right now, he's on pace to have a worse season than his 2020 season where he missed half of it.
Right.
There are so many different facets to this team. And as a Braves fan, I think it's really fun to keep up with, really fun to watch because, for better or for worse, you really don't know what you're going to get any given series. And luckily, the Braves have been able to turn it around. And I think it speaks to the rookies that are stepping up.
Right.
And I think you can kind of sum it up. And the Braves, every time the Braves have been punched in the mouth, they've got a counterpunch right back.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking of Drake Baldwin, this has the makings, thinking of our general manager, this has the makings of one of those come in early and get a big long-term deal done with one of your young core guys. Now, Alex Anthopoulos has done that with virtually everyone.
Seriously.
Right? Austin Riley, Michael Harris II, Ozzie Albies, and, of course, Ronald Acuna Jr. Matt Olson came over on a good deal. And so I could see them locking in Drake Baldwin. I can see him figuring in heavily into the team's future. And as we talked about here recently, the options the Braves might have at the DH position. Should this be the last year of Marcell Ozuna, or if they were to trade him, which I don't think they'll do.
I don't think so either. There's been a lot more discussion about it,
if it does happen, despite my little baby temper tantrum, I can understand it. And as much as it's never good to lose a hitter of that caliber, the Braves would be in a good position to weather it from that. And a lot of that is thanks to the catcher position. But think about it. With Ronald Acuna Jr. coming back, I can't believe I'm saying that a great option, is, guys that were more afterthoughts like Eli White, Alex Verdugo, but they are.
Yeah.
The only thing about that is they're not power guys.
No, and
you do want power in your DH spot. Now, they're good. They're good hitters, but I don't think either one have hit a home run this year.
No, and that's a good point, especially about Verdugo. He was brought in with such an interesting kind of way. He had no spring training, and he's been someone that has really kind of lit up this team when you look at the numbers. But the last couple of weeks, he hasn't been doing anything remarkable, I would say. But I think, let me gather my thoughts here. I think what Verdugo has provided was a spark in the clubhouse. Jock Peterson, we've said before.
I agree.
And I loved his comments that he made talking about how the Braves are one of those clubs that the standard is winning.
Yes.
And he went on to say about how when you have that standard, like he's been a part of teams like that before, clubs in the Red Sox and the Yankees, you come in with the goal to win, no matter what it takes. So I loved reading those comments he made because there was for a while some questions about the leadership. Who is going to step up? Is that drive still there? What are we seeing from the team as a whole? And so I think Verdugo has been someone that has been able to come in and and it's total speculation here, kind of remind everyone or just kind of play into that, hey, like this is a vintage ball club that the standard is winning and that's what's expected.
So a couple things there. The other thing Alex Verdugo brought was, in Ronald Acuna Jr.'s absence, a good leadoff guy.
Yeah.
They didn't have it.
No, they were having...
No one fit that slot. We thought some would, and Harris could do... Didn't work.
No.
Verdugo came in, problem solved, right?
Yes, I would agree.
Good leadoff guy.
Agreed.
To keep the seat warm.
Yep.
Until our AJ comes back. The second thing is, what will be the impact of Ronald Acuna Jr. on other players? Because
I'm excited just
having
talking
him
about
in the
it.
lineup, you could see that produce dividends for other players.
Agreed.
And I'll tell you one specifically for me.
Who?
And he's coming off a really, really good series in Fenway Park, and that's Matt Olson.
I agree. I think Matt Olson is someone that he is getting here. And the return of Acuna is only going to propel him.
If he can feed off of that.
Which I think he will.
Right. And so.
Dangerous.
Yeah. And
good.
if you go Acuna, Riley.
I was thinking Riley Olson.
Ozuna Olson.
Ooh, I like that. That's great. I mean, I'm getting excited just talking about Ronald Acuna because what's crazy is that we really have not had a show that exists with Ronald Acuna consistently in this lineup.
That's true. That's pretty exciting to think about.
Yeah.
Just the addition of what he brings, and that's just the top of the order. And how many games this season? Smuff's right. Ronald sets the table. Great way to put it.
Agreed.
Smuff just said it in
like round of applause.
In 4 words, what I tried to say in,
A paragraph.
4 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. A 3-page paper, double spaced. But that's the top of the lineup. There's been many games this year that Atlanta won thanks to the bottom of their lineup.
Yes, and be able to flip it. Like that is something too that when you kind of put those pieces together, his energy is infectious.
Yeah.
And I'm excited too. What we've been seeing from him and Gwinnett, it's awesome. Like you can tell he loves this game. You can tell that he loves what he's doing. When you bring that to Truist, do you remember his Players Tribune from last year? The passion that Ronald Acuna Jr. has for the game of baseball cannot be overstated, and it is best when he's in a Braves uniform.
I think that it's like in Seinfeld when George eats the mango. Could be a B12 shot for the team.
Yes.
Ronald Acuna Jr. comes back. Everyone feeds off of that. And, you don't want to – we say it, too, this is about having him there more so than just what numbers because it's, probably takes a little bit.
It's going to be a second.
You can't look at one player in baseball as a savior. That's not how baseball works. So, but having him just a part of what's already there. That's the thing. Ronald Acuna doesn't have to come in and save the team.
No.
They're already playing well. I understand that they're in third place. I understand they had a terrible start. But again, as we talked about, they're one of the better teams in baseball over the last month. Mm-hmm. And so having him back, being that missing piece adds a lot. So if you have Strider back, you have Acuna back, you don't have any you're at full strength.
And when have the Braves been able to say that? I mean, it's been a very long time. Really, realistically, it would be
since Ronnie went down.
Yeah, so about over a year ago.
Yeah, that was Memorial Day
because
weekend.
I was at the beach. We did an emergency.
I was in Chattanooga
show. Yeah, I remember it was yesterday. That was awful. But
Smuff got my reference. Thank you, Smuff.
But now we're on the other side of things, and it's so encouraging because I feel like this is going to be one of those markers of the season. And I think you make a great point. It's not going to be the numbers game to me, even for the first month or so. Is that too long? I don't think so. I think it could range, obviously. But the luxury that Acuna has, and you said it perfectly, he doesn't have to save this team.
Yeah.
They're not floundering right now. Like it is one of those things where he's stepping into a really pretty good situation that Braves have found themselves in that I don't think anyone expected a couple months ago.
I agree.
And that's good.
This isn't on our format, but something came out. Atlanta has the All-Star game.
Yeah.
And what is they released the coaching staff for?
Oh yes.
What is that called?
The World Baseball Classic?
No. It's part of All-Star festivities.
I don't know.
And had a lot of Braves alumni in there. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Hold on, let me. It
was out there. Chipper Jones, one of the coaches. But I looked at that coaching staff. Reason I brought it up, before I forgot. And on that coaching staff was one of my all-time favorite Atlanta Braves that I have heard nothing from, neither hide nor hair, since he retired.
Wait.
Nick Markakis.
Oh, I love Nick Markakis.
And
he's awesome.
There have been times since he's retired, including this season, where I thought, boy, I could use his presence, his leadership.
Yeah.
He was the epitome of the Braves way. He was that steady hand. I'm big fan.
All-Star Futures game in Atlanta.
The Futures. Yeah. Yes, Futures game.
Yeah. So Chipper Jones will be the manager. Tyler Flowers.
Yeah.
Tim Hudson, Andrew Jones, Mark DeRosa, Nick Markakis. Pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very cool. We might try to see if we can find our way down there. That would be pretty fun to be a part
absolutely.
of.
Absolutely. Because SEC Media Days correspond with that. So
we'll be in Atlanta
anyways, and my family is already planning on going.
Look at that.
I think we should, as Hunter says, do a live from the All-Star game.
As Hannibal would say on the A-Team, Tim, you know where I'm going with this?
Honestly thought you were going Hannibal Lecter there to begin with.
No. Not on this show. As Hannibal, George Papard on the A-Team would say, I love it when a plan comes together.
I know. I mean, that's going to be perfect. Let's like make a whole situation out of that.
A-Team was a show, by the way, for those of you wondering whether it was a show, television show in the 1980s.
I pity the fool that doesn't know what A-Team is.
I pity the fool that doesn't know that little first grade me had Mr. T A-Team pajamas.
Nice. It's a little before my time.
I'm going to see if I can find that picture. My parents have it.
Okay.
Mr. T pajamas.
Nice.
Gold chain?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And the beauty of Mr. T in the 80s, I could have gone multiple ways. I could have had A-Team, B.A. Baracus, Mr. T pajamas. I could have had Rocky III, Clubber Lang, one of the greatest heels in movie history, Clubber Lang. Or I could have gone WrestleMania 1, Hulk Hogan's tag team partner, Mr. T. There was nothing. I could have gone cartoon Mr. T or cereal Mr. T.
I'm so lost.
Mr. T had his own cereal. He had his own cartoon. That's how big Mr. T was.
Cannot spell versatility without the letter T.
Can't spell all-star without the letter T. All-star game?
Very good.
There.
Look at
The
you
little
bringing it
tie-in.
all back full circle. So let's get back on the winning track tonight. That one, Tuesday night, bad taste in my mouth. Is the Nationals. Supposed Nationals fan Ryan Allen Brown has no idea that they're playing.
No, not even a little
He said, "Who's the
bit.
Braves got? The Reds." We're like, "Yeah,
Yep.
big Nats fan, huh?" Mm-hmm. So let's beat the Nats and gear up. You are facing, in my opinion, at least a top 4 team in all of baseball in San Diego. At least top 4.
At least. And I think a win tonight, it's very necessary.
I think the Dodgers, Padres, and Phillies are the 3 best teams in the National League, in my opinion.
Yes.
And so, you know what happened last time in San Diego? 4-game sweep by the Padres.
Miserable.
So it would really be something. It would feel like a little full circle moment for the turnaround of the team to be able to take that series in Truist this weekend.
And potentially get Ronald Acuna back. We'll keep you guys updated on that. I have chills just talking about it. We'll be back on Tuesday. Hope you guys enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. Ush is headed down to the beach after today's show, actually.
I am. I'll be hitting the road very soon.
Yeah.
So if you are down
on 30A
in the very posh 30A,
oh my goodness.
Look for me.
Look for us.
And look for Roback. We've been talking a lot about Roback. I've seen Roback all over the place lately.
It's been awesome.
And it's growing. It's a brand that's growing. You just look for those little stripes on the back.
Yeah.
They got a new collection that I love. SS, by the way, did not forget the Cubs. I do think the Cubs are very good. The Cardinals are coming on strong there, but I'd still put those 3 as my top 3 in the National League. Cubs are right there. That instead of the stripes, it'll have the American flag.
Yes, I love those.
How great is that?
For Memorial Day weekend as well.
Yeah, so gear up. You still got, look, summer is just starting. The last day of school here for my kids.
I love summer.
And so you've got EG and I are so Memorial Day's coming up, and then EG and I are huge 4th of July people.
Huge. Arguably my favorite holiday.
And, you know,
might be controversial.
You'll cruise through the summer and there, and you got Labor Day and stuff like that. Roback's got you covered. www.
World Wide Web.
Tim, you got to get the
specific.
Give the whole address.
I'm just not sure 10% is enough, Ush. I just don't know if that's enough.
But
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yes.
Okay, did everybody hear what Tim said?
Yeah.
Roback.com. Fill your cart.
Fill it up.
And you're going to fill it with all kinds of things. You're going to fill it for you, fill it for your girlfriend or wife.
Yeah.
And then
Kids.
on that first order, at checkout, you're going to enter code PG20.
20% off.
And the 20 stands for 20% off, Tim. It's not 10,
That's
it's 20%.
Double the 10.
It's double.
You're telling me it's 20.
It's
20.
twice of what you thought it was.
It's incredible.
My gosh, that's a steal.
It
It is.
is. And we have revealed a little trick on this show. I'm going to reveal it again, and then we're going to cruise on. If you have already used PG20, like the Pennant Grace family is so good about, all 162 of you that are watching along with us, perhaps consider using a different email at checkout. And you may be able to use PG20 again.
Straight up genius.
It is. But
what
that's
it
our
is.
secret on the Pennant Grace. So
I love it.
don't tell anyone, but just know for your Memorial Day plans, do a little retail therapy as well.
I love it, partner. You know what else I love?
What do you love?
I love that Pennant Grace family. Thank you to everyone for being here, joining us today. Highlight of the week for sure.
We have so much fun doing
Tuesdays
this.
and Thursdays. Look forward to it all week.
We do.
Braves tonight. Let's get a victory. We'll be back Tuesday, 12:15.
Tuesday at 12:15. Follow us on social media at the Pennant Grace. Everyone have a fabulous Memorial Day weekend, and we will see you soon.